Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Today is the 3rd of March already. What happened to January and February? They went by pretty quick. So out here in the desert, the last couple of days, it's been really windy, as I think most of probably the U.S. has been under wind, but it's going to settle down, but it's been pretty windy. So I'm doing the filming from inside the bus today because of the noise, and I got my new table done for my dinette. The cushions will be in next week, so we'll do a video after that's in and show you the finished product. So I thought today I'd go over what the February expense was for living in the bus. I've already put out a video on the other ones from the year from August 30th to January 31st. So this is what I spent in February. Of course, February was a little shorter month, so that has a little bit to count. But also in February, I didn't drive very much. I spent a lot of time here in the campsite. So for the month of February, my expenses were, I spent $85.37 on fuel. And that was only to go to Yuma and back to pick up some supplies. And so that was pretty cheap because I didn't drive very much, which is good. Fuel is one of the biggest cost factors in your on the road. So I spent $36 for the campsite for this month. And that was part of my fee that I paid back in December for the 5 months I was going to be here. I had to do a propane exchange. They wouldn't take my propane tank and refill it because it was a 2005 model and it needed to be retested. So they could retest it for $35 or I can buy an exchange for $25. So I got an exchange. So that was $25.64. Now that will last me probably about 3 or 4 months because I only use the cooking and the hot water and for the propane. The repairs and maintenance on the bus this month or last month, I didn't really have to do them, but that's what you use maintenance for, just to hopefully keep it from breaking down later on. I did a couple things on it. Put the videos on before. Was a glow plug relay and a hubcap seal. It was $111.23. That's pretty cheap, so that's good. That's maintenance. That wasn't doing any kind of major repair. The biggest expense, almost, was food and dog things. As you know, I got my dog, my Great Pyrenees. So my total grocery bill for the month of February was $438.33. Now, out of that $438.33, $163.91 was dog things. Yes, I know. I said before I spend a lot of money on my dog, but you know, he's worth it. He's my best buddy. And so that brought my grocery side, just for myself, down to $274.42. And so that's pretty good for a whole month. And then and since I didn't drive much and have to go very far, I was able to use the money that I would have used for fuel onto my bus build. As you know, I'm still building out my bus. I got my dinette here, which I worked on, as you can see. And then behind the screen is the couch. And then the next project is behind me, is behind this little section. There's going to be a table and some area. But first I've got a big Craftsman toolbox that's full of tools and stuff. And I don't know where to put it. I'm still thinking of where I could unload the items and then either keep the box or just replace it. But that's a later build. But right now, the bill that I spent on was $464.96. That was to work on this side of the bus. And that's include all the lumber at Lowe's that I purchased and some things I bought here in Quartzsite at the local big market and liquor store. Yes, big market and liquor store. Big market is a hardware store. It does sell liquor. So the whole bill for the month of February, which was 29 days this year because of a leap year, Oh, I forgot to add this. Um, I did just one time excursion last week, and I may have seen it on my video that I went down to the local watering hole, Beer Bellies, and had an adult beverage, $4. So that was my monthly fun, I guess you can call it. So the total bill, another one I forgot to add is I purchased internet for the bus. Now, the internet is a mobile internet. It's run through your phone system. And so the initial setup, you had to purchase it, and a monthly plan, and then activation was $242 for the basically the activation and the setup and the monthly plan. How it's working? I can say that it's working. It's not really great, and I think part of it, the reason is out here away from everything, the cell phone service is not that good. And I did email the company, and they recommended that you need a cell phone booster because there's so many people on the system, and you're far enough away from towers that the signal is not very good. So I think it was as I move on, next month I'll be moving on to maybe a bigger area or a less populated bandwidth system, that it may work better. So we'll find out then. I'll give you an update on it and let you know what it is and how it's working whenever it gets going. And I may just wind up buying a cell phone booster and mount it on the bus just for my cell phone use too. So, but the total expenditures of March, the 29 days, was $1,407.53. Now, as I said, I didn't really go anywhere or do much, but if I would have taken off the money I spent on the bus bill and the repairs and the fuel, then my whole bill would have been $665.56. And that's for the food, the dining out, the internet system, the propane, and the campsite. So pretty cheap. I think pretty cheap. But you can stay, like I said before, you can spend as much as you want, you can save as much as you want, and just kind of live easy. Now, I don't get out and do much because there's three reasons why I don't get out and do a lot. One is I'm in my bus. I don't have a tow vehicle, so I have to take this bus everywhere I go. Two is I have a dog that barks as soon as I leave the bus, so I have to take him with me. And three, I just don't do a lot of things. So I'm really comfortable of just basically hanging around the bus, doing projects and watching some TV and taking walks and things. So I'm not have to go out and do a lot of entertaining or dining out. I would like to some point to get out and work and do some, if you can't see it out here, but these trails and different hiking areas that the dog can go on. But then again, it's driving the bus to a certain point and getting there that's going to be a little more challenging. So in reference to my last video I put out about nomad life on the road, this would be really quick. Nomad life on the road and having an exit plan. I've been thinking about this and watching a few videos, and it got me thinking that if you have an exit plan, as I said before, to exit this nomad lifestyle in some years or whenever you want to get out, to have a place to go, a land, family members, or someplace you can transition back into sticks and bricks or move your vehicle onto their property or a property. But the other thing was, if you're out here and being a nomad, just being on the road in full time or in driving around, that if you have a major catastrophe with your vehicle, whether it's a car, bus, van, RV, whatever, if you have a major catastrophe, like you throw a rod through your engine, well, engine for this bus is about $20,000. So that's something you have to think about. when you get on the road is what am I going to do when something happens? The bus breaks down. You happen to get in an accident because everything I own is in this bus. If you get in an accident and totals out your vehicle, well, therefore, you can get a rental car, but what are you going to do with everything that's in your vehicle in the bus? So you have to think about that. That's something to think about too as you get on the road. Is if you have a major breakdown or you have an accident or you have a total loss. There's been 3 RV fires in this area since December, and that's a total loss. They burn right to the ground. And so if everything you own is in your vehicle and you have a total loss that is nothing left, then what are you going to do? That's one thing to think about. You got to think about, rental vehicles, some way to get around, and where are you going to go? If you're living in your vehicle and you get a rental car, where are you going to go? You can't just drive off and go park somewhere. So that's something to think about also is when you get on the road, is this minor things of how am I going to handle a major event, a breakdown, for instance. When my bus broke down, my first thought is I've got to have it towed. And then the second thought is, where can I stay? And can I stay on the parking lot and during the night if it's going to be there overnight, or do I have to get a hotel room? And then if I find a hotel room, another point is I've got a dog, so I have to find a hotel room that accepts dogs. So it's a little more challenging to just think about if you have a major event. So that's something to think about as we go through. And this be a short video. Got my coffee going. The sun is shining out here in Arizona. It's windy again. That's why I'm sitting inside. It's like I said, it's blowing dust everywhere, and it's just a little cooler. It's going to be about 70 today instead of close to 80 like it was last week. So not a bad day. So we'll be spending some time inside because I don't want to eat a lot of dust when I'm outside. The dog likes it because he likes the wind blowing on him. And so that is going to be about it for today. So I thank you a lot for watching. Subscribe. And if you got any questions or comments, put them down below. And if not, we'll see you on down the road.